would fight it down. Through the blessings, I'm still around. Now if at first you don't succeed, don't give up, start all over. Try your best to do good deeds. I am sure Jah will bless you forever. And what you don't like for yourself, don't you give it to your brother. From the hills cometh my help, giving praises to the Father. While I stand alone, fighting against oppression, I stand alone, because I love Jah and not religion. Yes, I stand alone, persevering from persecution. I stand alone, keeping my distance from the pollution. I am giving Jah thanks and praise, cause He is the mighty ruler. There is nothing man can do when the blessings of God come over. I can't help but sing His praise, cause His Spirit lives within me. Oh, His love and His mercy and grace is all we need, set the captives free. I stand alone, fighting against oppression. I stand alone, because I love Jah and not religion. Oh yes, I stand alone, persevering from persecution. I stand alone, keeping my distance from pollution. Oh no. Now many men would fight you down when they see you trying to see Jah light. And my people have got to unite.
Good morning, and welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Amali's having mic trouble. Kevin and Amali. We are going to jump into a quick segment by Social Security, and then we'll be right back after.
People, listen to me. Let's talk about Social Security.
Hello, radio listeners, and welcome to another edition of Social Security 5, your Social Security information program, brought to you by the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board. I am Tasha Hendrickson, your presenter for this broadcast. Today we want to cover the true fact that Social Security is important to young people. Often you would hear the notion that Social Security is only beneficial when someone is old. And yes, we all know that Social Security offers benefits to the seniors. Age pension is the biggest benefit, and there are no deductions for Social Security after 62 if a person decides to work after that golden age. But Social Security is much more than a pension benefit. How does a young person benefit from Social Security, you may ask? Most of the benefits that are available to you are relatively popular, that being sickness benefit, maternity benefits, and employment injury benefits. But did you know that pensions are included? Yes, you have heard correctly. Pensions are available for young people, and this would be our main focus for today. The pensions that are available for young people are disablement pension, invalidity pension, survivor's pension for parent, children, orphan, and spouse, death survivor's pension for parent, spouse, and children, invalidity assistant pension, and survivor's invalid children pension. These are a series of pensions that are available for persons who are younger than 62. So let's delve a bit into pension benefits for young people. Disablement pension. This pension is paid as a result of employment injury. The amazing thing about this pension in particular is that the qualifying condition is that you showed up to work. If it is your first day on the job and a work-related injury occur, Social Security pays you that pension once qualifying conditions are met. For invalidity pension, this type of pension arises when you are sick for more than 26 weeks. That is, your current sickness prevents you from working, and Social Security will pay that benefit type for the period in which the invalidity lasts. Payments of this pension type is ceased once the claimant returns to work. Survivor's pension. Survivor's pension are pretty straightforward, except to say that the pension calculation is slightly different from the orphan child. Death survivor's pension is a pension as a result of an employment injury, where the insured person actually passes away and leave behind parent, spouse, or children. Payment amount on these benefits varies. The invalidity assistant pension is payable to persons that are younger than 62 years old and is very similar to the assistant pension that is paid to persons who are over 62 years old. The qualifying conditions have to be certified by a medical practitioner, and the benefit type is a flat payment of $250 per month. The last pension type we will cover is Survivor Invalid Child Pension. That's Survivor Invalid Child Pension. This pension type arises from a situation where the parent was taking care of the invalid child, pass away, but that child continues to be dependent on someone to take care of them. So, there you have it. Young people as members of Social Security do in fact benefit, and you must agree that Social Security is important to young people. I will also go a bit further and make one final point about benefits to young people. There are those benefits that are prescribed by the law, and there are those benefits that the Social Security Board ascribe unto itself. Such benefits include educational scholarships, annual donations to the health sector and national security, sports development, youth camps, etc. For more information on pensions for young people, please feel free to contact our Public Relations Department at 465-2535 or 469-5245. That's all the time we have for this edition of Social Security 5. Until we come your way again, this is Tasha Hendrickson reminding you that we keep looking up for your benefits.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Never say you're sorry. No. Hey, was just the other day. Told me you were sorry. It was not so long ago. We talked about the same thing, darling. Why? Please tell me why do lovers behave in such a way? Yes. Didn't you know that love means never to say that you're sorry? No. How could you hurt the one you love just like you don't care? No, not in such a way. Ooh, man. Just the other night, you told me that you love me. Whisper in my ear, sweet words I long to hear. And when you touched my spine, baby, oh, it was heaven divine. It's hard to tell myself that you love another man. Didn't you know love means never to say that you're sorry? No. How could you hurt the one you love just like you don't care? No, not in my book, no way. Oh, baby, touch me one more time. No. Whisper in my ears your sweet little lies. This will keep me going, even for a moment, till you understand that it's not right. Didn't you know that love means never to say that you're sorry? No. How could you hurt the one you love just like you don't care? No, not in my book, no way. Ooh, baby, just the other day, you told me you were sorry. It was not so long ago. We talked about the same thing, darling. Why? Please tell me why do lovers behave in such a way? Didn't you know that love means never to say that you're sorry? No. How could you hurt the one you love just like you don't care? No, not in such a way. No. Don't you know that love means never to say that you're sorry, baby? Didn't you know that I'm telling you right now? How could you hurt the one you love just like you don't care? No, not in my book, no way.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
I just use my address, 2164.
Oh man, mine is my car number, 7328.
So, my pick 4 is my wife's weight.
Pick your 4 and come play Pick 4 from the Caribbean Lottery. It's so easy to play. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 with 4 ways to bet and 4 daily draws. There are so many chances to win up to $40,000.
You doggos got 4 numbers too?
What are you talking about?
Got your wife standing up right behind you.
Sorry.
Pick your 4 and come play Pick 4 from the Caribbean Lottery.
It's time to wake up, y'all. Yeah. Last night we almost broke up. It's time to fix that. I can't function, no. Meet me in the bedroom, let we make up. So y'all go under the sheet and wait for me. I will be there, yeah. Take your time, get comfortable. Hug up me pillow, yeah. Y'all I don't want fight no more. I just want love you. Y'all I promise that we will never go to sleep and pray. I start to a better me. I wanna love you endlessly. Never go to sleep and pray. All I want you to know, I just wanna love you so. You see that pretty lady? I just want to wine and shake. I notice she only watching me. This is soca. So why is she to dance with me? She laughing and only watching me. I just want a wine, is that okay? She grab up my hand and say,
Welcome back to Island Tea. I thought Kevin was going to welcome you guys back, but he's
No,
on his
I did it
computer.
last time.
So there's willfully any look over here to see what I can do. This is what I deal with, people. This is what I deal with. The neglect and the invalidity of Jay Johnson. So I think Jay, this is what they were talking about in the Social Security ad. Benefits for invalids. Jade, sign up today.
Social
Security.
But we are going to...
You want to talk now? May finish.
Don't bother.
Mr. Master of Ceremonies, what do we have on the agenda for this morning?
Oh, you have to give me permission to speak.
Please enlighten us. You may speak.
So for tea time, we are going to talk about Inauguration Day 2020 in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're also going to talk about the corona curfew restrictions and how they have been relaxed. We're going to talk about Mark Brantley's statements.
Socks?
We could talk about his socks, because he got some fire socks.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about his him reiterating his stance with Team Unity. We're going to talk about nightly church services.
Very, 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 very exciting.
Jade may know what MD is.
Medical doctor?
Oh. So what you guys so?
I ain't the field of medicine.
Yeah, but why she got it right down so?
Folks, this is the invalidity I'm speaking about.
No, first of all, you don't even know what the notes say because you didn't read them. So do not comment on what I'm seeing. Do not comment on what I'm seeing.
And worldwide, MD medical doctor. Mini disc. We don't really use those anymore. But there's something called context. You read the sentence. I'm sure she was speaking about music.
Jade and context don't work together. But we're also going to talk about the MD Links' telemedicine and how it's being implemented in the Caribbean. We're going to talk about Atlanta police fired someone else for the fatal shooting of another black person.
Joe? Atlanta, is it?
Atlanta. Then we're going to talk about some social media fun. And then we're going to talk about some airlines and some legal action. Dun, dun, dun. That little voice thing was for the listeners that not watching.
Okay.
Because we have to cater to both. We have the people that can look at us and we have the people that listening to us only.
People can see us?
Yeah, on the lives we have the
You're crazy. You serious?
The cameras are live.
And this has been happening for like every time we come here?
So week 4, and this is the question you're asking?
Week 4, we've been live on social media? Really? That's wild. Clive, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
So those are just a few of the tea time topics. What segment?
Tea time.
And we will take a short break and then we will come back with traffic talk before we get into
tea time.
We'll be right back.
Woman, you're whining so sexy. You're whining so seductively. I say you're whining so sweet. Hey, your current flowing through me. Hey, you have something in your waist. Something in your waist. I can't concentrate. It have something in your wine. Something in your wine. I want it all the time. Hey, want it all the time. Why don't you link up when the party done? Hey. Why don't you link up when the party done, baby? I think we should link when the party done. Oh, if you're ready, girl, we could leave right now. Hey, girl, we have that good Wi-Fi, connect like good Wi-Fi. Instant connection, perfect reception. We have that good Wi-Fi, connect like good Wi-Fi. Instant connection, perfect reception.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Cause the bottles over me head. Bottles over me head. And I bumps into the bottles over me head. Bottles over me head. Now watch the girl and wine go down and the ground like. This is soca. Soca. Down and the ground like. The soca insane Radio Smith.
The bush a cut it, the garden a fuck it, put the fruits in a bucket. But the girl she keep on complaining. When I do it, they say put your back into it. Well, I do I try. She name calling with another guy. What I do wrong again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again. People calling me name, lad. They say again, one again. Say I fed up with hard. All you feel is broke and making. Whole lot. Turn up the mic. When I say I fed up with hard, all you feel is broke and making. I don't want to hate on love, but sometimes I keep debating. She say she only lover, she only friend. We make a wish, now eat with pen. I sleep and I had a dream, wake up and I make a vow. Soon as everything complete, we saw one all. What I do wrong again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again. People calling me name, lad. They say again, what again? The bush a cut it, the garden a fuck it, put the fruits in a bucket. But the girl she keep on complaining. When I do it, they say put your back into it. All I know I try, she name calling with another guy. What I do wrong again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again. People calling me name, lad. They say again, one again.
Your man is my man. Your man is mine. Your man is my man. Not just here to take a wine. Your man is my man. Your man is mine. Girl, don't be greedy. Three of us would make a
can't tell you nothing, so give them your attitude. Go sick, make them vex it, put them in a check, cause you know you can back it up. Do what you want. Do what you want. Come on, bitch, girl, say it. Balance on it, don't make it. Drop. You got it. Walk it up. Twist up your face, now send it. Any man where you want, just bubble on them. Them say people, man, comfortable. If a girl want vex, that a fishy problem. Not a thing that have to do with you. Girl, you are the baddest, them can't tell you nothing, so give them your attitude. Go sick, make them vex it, put them in a check, cause you know you can back it up. Do what you want. Do what you want.
She got a juice. She got a juice. She drippin'. She got a juice. My girl, she got a juice. Now all of the gyal them bend down. Walk up.
Yes, it's soca.
Hey, this one gon' make gyal walk up the waist and bend down low and stick out the bum. This gon' make man come in the jam and hold a gyal and throw away the gun. This one gon' make you wish that you coulda ever never miss a next bumper jam. So every man grab a gyal and gyal grab a man and walk up your waist when you hear this. I diggy my check. 1, 2. My gyal bend down, tight shoe, move exclusive, hard shoe. I used to play like kung fu. I diggy my check. 3, 4. Gyal way up face to the floor. She got juice, no milk. She got island dairy. She got a juice. She drippin'. She got a juice. She drippin'. She got a juice. She got a juice. Now all of the gyal them bend down. Walk up. Sit back. Drop it. All the gyal them bend down. Walk up. Sit back. Drop it.
Mix. Your wife been simple, back to me. Take it easy. Listen, I'm she's telling me you gon' slap me. Take it easy. So since I can't wait on you, and you're too young to die. That's true. Baby, here's what you going to do. Read my lips and show me you a bad girl. Well, back, what's that? Look at me. Your waistline, walk that. Look at me. And since I can't wait on you, baby, here's what we going to do.
The Mix King.
Well, look who it is. It's the whining queen of the soca. Everybody want come hold her. Whining queen of the soca. Lord, she want me now. Hey, check her now. Winding up the body, want me now. Hey, check her now. Bouncing up the body, want me now. Hey, check her now. Winding up the body, want me now. Hey, check her now. Bouncing up the bam bam. Head, shoulder, knees. Move over, let her breathe. She ain't nothing easy, so get ready for the teacher. Lights done flick for the camera. Crowd of people front and center. The video man not shaking enough. He ain't seen none yet. She only want me now. Hey, check her now. Winding up the body, want me now. Hey, check her now. Bouncing up the body, want me now. Hey, check her now. Winding up the body, want me now. Hey, check her now. Bouncing up the body, girl. Hey, girl, with the good body, you a wine like say you too good for me. Your body a call and a look for me. Me and you vehicle, come and be good for me. Girl, you got the flavor, full of spice like you found the nader. I know you got a game changer. Put your eyes down, me in a danger. It's just the way you move your body, baby. Burning up when you on the floor. You got the wine that drives me crazy. I want you to tell me some more.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Burning up when you on the floor. You got the wine that drives me crazy. I want you to steady music. Steady boy. All my life come up to them, suck me up. You roots are boy. It's DJ Terror. Link up a girl from station. Says she wanna get some wood. Says she wanna rebuild she dark house.
Welcome back again to Island Tea. I got another doggy from Kevin here.
No. The music, I couldn't tell if it was fading.
I thought he said the mic's alive. And
yeah,
he
but he
counted
said
down
Mike's live
from
but he
10 to
didn't-
1.
Yeah, but he just said Mike's live and then fading. He ain't said the fading this time.
Wow. Hey, welcome back, folks. This is
But
our
that was Jake
18th
fault.
episode. Our 18th ever invalid. Our 18th episode of Island Tea. We've got all the business out of the way. Well, some of it, most of it. And now we're going to dive into our first segment this morning, which is... What's it again?
It is tea time.
Tea time.
Forgive us because we just don't know what we're doing sometimes.
And the first, I've decided to do all the shows impromptu moving forward. I'm no longer reading any notes, folks. So bear with me. I'm trying to be like Conan.
I will read the notes and then I'm going to just start.
I will be like Conan and Trevor Noah on SNL.
But does have teleprompters, right? Can we get a teleprompter, please?
I don't.
This one.
I do have manila paper.
We're going to make Jade stand up with
Do you have Sharpies?
Sharpies
different
and manila
color
paper.
ones? Nice.
Can we use this as a teleprompter? So I could put the
I don't
agenda
know
there
why
and
the
we
screen
read.
just facing a wall.
Ain't got nothing on it.
Anyway,
our
first subject today on the tea time is the fact that yesterday afternoon at 5 p.m. the new cabinet, the tea immunity cabinet, was sworn in for their second term in office. And for people like us in the room, it was a glorious day in history. As PM Harris actually came through on his promise of dedicating a ministry for entertainment, arts, and entrepreneurship that he made about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And lo and behold, yesterday evening he announced that the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet was going to be the Minister of Entertainment and Arts. And I was ecstatic. Kevin, how do you feel about that?
I feel like that's a good idea. Because it's like fresh.
What's the next subject on the thing?
Just so.
He just dismissed
He
me.
just gave me this fake answer like, oh,
no,
it's,
but
it's so wonderful.
I think it's a good idea for you. Fresh. I like when things are fresh.
We know it's a good idea. We already went past that. I'm asking you how you feel about Akila being announced as a minister.
Okay. We have.
I'm sorry, I cranky mate this man.
Yeah, Amanda just upset me. But we now have with us the officers for traffic talk.
Our favorite inspector. And somebody new.
I don't know if you feel the same about us, but
thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna take a quick break so they could set up, or we just gonna go straight into it. We're going straight into it. Welcome. Amali, your TV mic.
Oh Lord, sorry. Oh Lord. Okay, brilliant. We're just fixing the mics here, folks. Bear with us. Okay, brilliant. So we're here with our good friends from the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force. We have
Constable Bissett.
Constable Bissett?
Yeah, Bissett.
Yes, Bissett.
Bissett?
308, Constable Bissett.
Oh, your badge number 308?
Yes.
Okay then.
Not
Okay
to be
then.
confused, there's another Bissett.
Oh, okay. I understand now. I understand now. And of course, we have our good inspector here who's responsible for traffic.
The Inspector Eddie right here.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. How are you?
Well, I trying to do okay.
Okay, brilliant.
Trying to do okay.
Yeah, I just want to say good morning to the general public. We're here again from the traffic department. I want to say good morning to everyone internationally, regionally, and locally. We're here in Traffic Talk. With me here presently, I have Constable Bissett.
308.
Well, that's his badge number. Yes, and we here to give some traffic hint. I think last week we spoke of some Tintin.
Yes.
Yeah, I could recall, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have here with me the St. Christopher Nevis Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, Chapter 15.06. And it states here in Regulation 62, it speaks to Tintin. In subsection 1, it says in this section, restricted motor vehicle means any motor vehicle other than a motorcycle where the whole or part of the glass of the windscreen side or rear windows of the vehicle is obscured by either the application of any film, tint, or the device B is custom tinted when you manufacture, that is less than 65% of light transmission is possible. In subsection 2, in this section, the expression custom tinting by the manufacturer means that the glass of the windscreen, side or rear windows of the vehicle has been obscured by a process other than the application of any film, tint, or the obscuring device. Subject to the provision of this act, no person shall import a restricted motor vehicle into the Federation. Subsection 4, the provision of this part shall not apply to a restricted vehicle that has been custom tinted by the manufacturer and are before the date of the coming into force of Act Number 1 of 2009. Ambulances, hearses, such other classes of motor vehicles as the Minister of National Security may designate by notice published in the Gazette. Yes, I just want to say to the general public, when it comes to tinting, some people glass are quite dark. We just had a VCP just last week, I think last week.
Friday.
Yeah, and how I was stopping vehicles is by looking into the vehicles. I mean, sometimes you can't even see the driver. You can't even see the passenger. You don't know if anybody kidnapped anybody.
Right.
You can't see inside, you know what I mean? So it's a disadvantage, to the general public, And people only feel stuff like that. Say, you have a dark vehicle, you may feel comfortable, you may feel upset that the police stop you.
Mm.
But if somebody for you, get disappeared, You never know who's in the vehicle. No, that is the time you're gonna say, "Boy, I wish everybody's vehicle was transparent."
So you could see
That's
what's
when
going
you
on.
could see what's going on.
Right.
Only when things happen to you, you know. I don't know if Bissett have anything to say about Tintin.
Also, I always like to say, at times you don't even know if someone has a gun, weapon, you know, pointing at you. Right? Especially, well, thank God. God forbid there's no drive-by shootings. But if something like that was to happen, you know, you'd want at least someone in the public who could say, boy, yes, I remember I see so and so.
Right.
This person was in that vehicle. You know? A lot of the excuses I know persons love to give the police is that, oh, I have equipment in my vehicle. Right?
I feel attacked.
Yeah, because it's you they're talking about.
No, but the thing is, if you do have expensive equipment in your vehicle, at least during the night also, you would want to secure your vehicle properly. You know? I wouldn't expect you to leave your vehicle overnight at a certain particular area that's not well lit, you know, or out on the road. And if I know I think the provision speaks to if anyone needs to have a dark and tinted vehicle, don't just take it upon yourself to tint it just like that. You need to get permission. You have to write to the Minister of National Security, right? That's the best thing to go forward.
You
if you have a security, yes, whatever business you have and you feel like you need to have your vehicle tinted, write to the Minister of National Security. Get permission. Okay.
Inspector, I actually heard of a friend of mine who actually wrote to the PM, to the minister, and received permission.
Yes.
So it does happen sometimes.
Yeah, and they have gotten permission. Yeah, so that's how it is. You may go through, you know, some people, when it comes to the site, you know what I mean? They come there, you know, some people go to a doctor, and the doctor actually recommends certain, you know, glass tinting and these kind of stuff because of their vision.
Right.
That's the reason why you have to give a rationale when you write to the minister.
Right.
You know, the reasons why, you know what I mean? You actually want to use certain class of tinting. You know, what you want is so dark. You know, based on the rationale, it might be even security forces. You know, you have some security businesses and so forth.
Right. Who move money and
certain stuff, valuable stuff. You know, so that is important.
But sometimes there are people who have driving services that move diplomats and thing, and they want that privacy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, so there are various reasons. You know what I mean? But definitely, as Bissett rightly said, you must apply to the minister.
To get permission.
To get permission, and that is the Minister of Security. I think Mr. Harris is the Minister of Security.
Once again.
So that's how it is.
Okay then. So for those of you listening out there, you heard the Inspector and Constable 308 Bissett.
One other thing I would like to mention, also as it speaks to windscreen, you know, the police force has a policy where it allows 6 inches.
Oh, for the strip on top.
Right. You know, I see persons pass way past that.
Many about 12.
12, sometimes maybe even 3. You know.
Right?
You know.
Some people, they don't know the procedures. And if you do not know the procedures, all you have to do is ask. You see, ignorance of the law is no excuse. You know what I mean? Everyone is presumed to know the law. Based on the Constitution. So you can't say, the law is to read. I mean, you have to pick up and read it.
And if you ask a question,
you just ask a
inquire.
question. It's just simple than to just go and just, you know, do what you want. You know, you helter skelter, I mean, care. Let me just do what you want.
Right.
So that is very serious. The next issue, mobile phones. You know, a number of accidents, these cars, by using all these apparatus in the vehicle, you know, not vehicles. I mean, you might get a call, you might feel like the call is important. Or what you see in a car is important while you're driving on the road with people life at risk. And your life at risk also.
Your life, yeah.
You understand me? So all you have to do, you know, you see a nice designated area, you could
pull over. Yeah. That's what I usually do.
If you're not in a proper designated area, you wait until you reach a nice designated area. Either you call back a person, you understand me?
Or what about utilizing the Bluetooth capabilities
Well,
of the
that
vehicle?
because you have them.
A lot of people, we have cars that could allow us to connect the phones to the car, so we could answer from the wheel. We could talk without having to touch the phone. But we don't. We rather take up the phone and hold it where we.
I actually see people. Because guess what? Even though you got Bluetooth, you get a WhatsApp.
You don't want to read the message.
You want to read your message.
Yeah.
Main thing you got any device, you got a device that you go straight to. You know what I mean? You could use the WhatsApp by Bluetooth to read. You see what I'm saying? So they have the phone like this. I actually see people having the phone directly in front of the windscreen and reading the text and going. Sometimes I got to turn back and stop them. You know? And that is a serious offense. You understand me? And I think a number of accidents being caused by that because people actually admitted that they were using the cell phone, you know, the various apparatus that they have in the vehicle. But I want to read from the section 64 of the Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, chapter 15.06, and it states in subsection 1, a person shall not drive a motor vehicle while using a mobile phone unless the person had complied with such condition as may be prescribed by the minister. Same thing with the minister. A person who contravenes the provisions of this section or subsection commits an offense and shall be liable as follows. A. To be fined $250 in the case of a first offense. To be fined $500 in the case of a second offense. C. Where a person is convicted of 3 or more violations of this subsection within a 3-year period, the court may order a suspension of the person's driver's license for a period of 6 months. So that is the next serious offense. I mean, I show this offense has caused people death. You know, you understand? Injury, maim persons. You understand? And that is serious. I'll be said you want to say something and
just appealing to the
phones
general.
and what you experience.
Yes, my experience is that persons are getting too complacent now. You know, with driving and using a cell phone. You know, I see it every day, and I'm saying even they would pass the police station
on the phone.
On the phone. You know, and it's like they don't have that fear. So now you pull them over and they say, have the phone talking and say, hold on there, the police just pulled me over.
Wow.
You know, before in time pass, they would put it down and, majority put it down and say, oh, officer, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, some would give you the excuse, yeah, man, I just get a phone call, like you put and say, no, you can't do that. At least pull off, answer your phone, use it.
Right.
But I'm appealing to the general public, be mindful. This is a serious offense. You know, you can get distracted, you can knock down a child or someone. Okay? Let's not get complacent.
And not forgetting themselves, because life they save maybe their very own life, you know what I mean? So, this is very, very serious, and I just actually want to, say to the general public, please, if you don't want to feel it in your pocket, because I know the police ain't gonna give you a chance when it comes to that. Yeah, I know, not my officer, definitely. No chance.
Down on that, no.
I mean, giving nobody a chance when it comes to the part. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. I want to move on to section 65 of the same Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, 15.06, and it talks about repairing vehicles in the street. Say, any person who on any road carries out repairs to any vehicles, except in the case of accidents where repair on the spot is necessary, commits an offense and shall on summary conviction be liable to a fine not exceeding $200. I mean, you may be shut down on the road. Yeah, I mean, you got a number of enough people, especially on them small streets, they feel like the street is a garage, and they feel like they could repair the vehicles on the road, No. This is
I didn't think that was an offense.
That is an offense. You understand? You have a reasonable time you get in an accident, you have a reasonable time to move your vehicle to a designated area, a mechanic shop, wherever you want, take it, zoom, wherever. You know, you get your things sorted out. There's a reasonable time. You expect if you break down on the road, you have a reasonable time to get it sorted. You can't get it sorted, you call a tow truck.
Right.
And you move your vehicle. That is
But
not
don't call them, you can't come to fix the car on this one.
No, don't try to do that. You understand me? You have a reasonable time, as I say. You could call a mechanic, an expert, to come and check it out. But it's a reasonable time.
If it's something
but
quick,
if you don't feel like you can stay there for 2 days and 3 days and a week to get a
You
sorted.
see bolts all over the place, you know, you're taking down the engine and everything there.
That does happen?
Well, yeah, there are some mechanic shops actually have the vehicles
On the road, okay.
lined
On the
up
road.
on the road.
Oh yeah, them they're all over.
You
Yeah,
know?
so what about not beyond like the damaged cars? What about abandoned cars, like just sitting on the side of the road?
Well,
Some of them
that-
sitting
that-
so
I'm
long,
glad
like
you
they
come
sink.
to that.
Some of them sitting so
Yeah.
long they're sinking into the concrete.
Mhm.
You've never seen that before?
A car sinking into the concrete?
Yeah, the weight, because they're moving so long, this concrete, where the wheels applying pressure, you could see it sinking.
Yeah, dirt building up, grass growing
Wow.
around it. Yeah, there should be a section.
Yeah, when it comes to, let me hit on something before hit on the,
You abandoned cars.
yes, the abandoned cars.
Oh yeah.
And then most of the time, ain't even all that abandoned. Sometimes I gonna fix it, but the I gonna fix it lasts like 10 years, and you ain't get to it yet.
Yeah. Seat belt. We could talk about safety belt. Yeah. There's something about safety belt. A number of persons again. You know what I mean? You stop them, they have no seat belt on, and you see them trying to pull up the seat belt. You know, and they feel like the police shouldn't ticket them. You know. I always ask the question, why shouldn't I ticket them? They had no seat belt on at the time when I saw them. You know, so it is evidence that they wasn't wearing a seat belt. That again is a serious offense. You understand? And you are also responsible for your passenger at the front. You understand? I should be set at a number of experience when it comes to seat belts and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the excuse about officer just jump in my vehicle, right, and that's why I don't have it on, is not gonna fly anymore. Okay. I know we could use our discretion, but don't come with that. Or to say, you know, I just jump in to go around this corner here. You know, at all times you don't know what is going to happen to you. Okay, the spirit of the law with this with the seat belt is to save lives. Okay, I know persons would say, well, they heard of others who got in accidents, and because they had on the seat belt, you know, they got whatever injury around here. But if the accident was that serious, think about it. If the accident was that serious, for you to, you know, to have the pain or the, you know, from the seatbelt holding your back, you might have been gone through the windscreen, right, and get more a serious accident, injury, or even death. Okay, so let's at all times consider that you don't know. Not everyone leaves in the vehicle expecting to get in an accident. Okay, so let's comply with that law. It's there to save lives.
I actually have a friend when I was living in Canada, and he and some other friends of ours were, you know, they went to a party and whatever, and up to now he can't tell me what happened because he had to be pulled out of the car. He was unconscious when the car turned over. He was wearing a seatbelt and the seatbelt broke his collarbone from the impact. But the driver died. The driver didn't have on a seatbelt. Everybody else did, and everybody else survived. Right? And that's what bad the accident was. Like, nobody knows how the car turned over, and they were just driving home, and then the next thing he wake up in the hospital. Right? And the car caught fire too. They had to pull him out of the car. Passers by stop and pull him out of the car and thing. But the driver was already dead. So yeah, the seatbelt is It does save lives.
It is just
It may cause a little bruise and they cause something, but that's all right.
The booze
So
is better than
you prefer the
death.
booze or you prefer to die? Which
Right.
one?
Yeah, or brain damage.
Yes, yes.
I take the booze.
Yeah, take the booze at any time. They will heal back.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand me? I never see death heal back yet.
Mhm.
You understand? So it is imperative that people, you know what I mean, you drive as a motorist, you know what I mean, you drive with your seatbelt at all times.
Mhm.
Yeah, no matter how short the distance, you may feel like, well, I'm just going from here to Newtown. I'm just going from here to, you know, roundabout, somewhere close. And you feel like, I ain't got to
Yeah,
put on a
chance it,
seatbelt. Boom, somebody hitting into you. It ain't got to be you hitting into nothing.
Yeah.
Somebody hitting
Whiplash
into
and so you
whiplash
face
from
it,
the back.
the steering wheel.
You know, it actually holds you back. You understand? So it's important. Because if anybody hit you, you might go back and you go forward. All right. The gentleman here was just actually alluded to broken down vehicles on the road. That was they asked about. And he have here in regulation 48 of the Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, chapter 15.06, and I read as follows in subsection 1. And it speaks to removal of broken down vehicles. It shall be the duty of the owner, driver, or other persons in control or in charge of any vehicle. A. When the vehicle has broken down on a road in such circumstances that the defects cannot be remedied within a reasonable time, or the presence of the vehicle is likely and necessarily to obstruct or to cause danger to other road users or the person using the road, when required to do so by any member of the police force on the grounds that the vehicle has been permitted to remain at rest on a road in such a position or in such condition or in such circumstances as to be likely to cause danger to other persons using the road, to remove or to take all reasonable steps to secure the removal of such vehicle as soon as practicable. Subsection 2. Where any broken down vehicle is left on any road and it appears to the licensing authority that such vehicle has been abandoned by its owner, the licensing authority may, by notice in writing, request such owner, if he or she can be found, to remove such vehicle within 48 hours, that is 2 days, yes? Of the receipt by such owner of such notice, and to deposit such broken down vehicle in some place to be approved by the licensing authority. If the owner of the broken down vehicle cannot be found, or if he or she fails or neglect to remove such vehicle, or to deposit it in a manner hereinafter or hereinbefore, provide it shall be lawful for the licensing authority to cause such vehicle to be removed and to be deposited in any place which appears to him or her to be suitable, therefore, and to recover a simple contract debt from the owner thereof the cost of such removal and of such disposition as aforesaid. If the owner of the broken down vehicle cannot be found, or if it appears to the licensing authority, acting in his or her own discretion, that such owner has no sufficient asset of his or her own available to enable him or her to pay the cost of the removal and the disposition, it shall be lawful for the licensing authority to cause such vehicle to be sold by public action or by private treaty. Out of the proceeds of the sale, the licensing authority shall reimburse himself or herself of the cost of such sale and of such removal of the disposition, and shall pay the balance, if any, to such owner. In the case, any case where the owner cannot be found, to keep the balance, if any, and deposit at the treasury for her behalf, and of such owner for the space of 12 months from the date of such sale. Subsection 6. If before or upon the expiration of such period the owner has not claimed such balance so deposited on his or her behalf, such sum shall be paid into and form part of the consolidated fund of the state, and such owner shall thereupon forfeit all claims to such sum. So you see, the piece of legislation for nearly anything as it spoke of. They spoke about broken down vehicles, so you don't expect your vehicle going to be broken down. You know, and you think you have 2 days there to fix it on the road. You see, that is quite serious. You have a reasonable time of 48 hours, you know, to get your vehicle started.
There was something else that we discussed last week as well. I don't know if you got a chance to look into it with regard to the foreign license and obtaining the temporary driver's license in terms of the difference between the automatic and standard.
Yeah, well, with that, definitely no. There is nothing pertaining to what you said last week. You say some people, I know some, persons, we're human beings, and that is the reason why you see we at the traffic department have to be quite careful, when issuing these temporary driver's license and so forth. Don't tell me somebody come with something from overseas, as you gave this scenario. Your scenario was against a Bissett could actually. Yeah.
There are people who come here, in especially in North America, the majority of people drive automatic vehicles. Only people who got the sports cars and got a stick shift. As opposed to London, where it's mostly stick shift, right? So people come here, from New York, Miami, and things, never drive a stick shift in their life, but they come to St. Kitts with their U.S. driver's license, apply for a temporary license, but the temporary license doesn't specify whether the auto is drive automatic or standard or both.
Okay.
So they can go anywhere and a standard vehicle.
Okay, let me
and
clarify.
drive it.
Yeah, the temporary driver's license does clarify that.
It does.
On the back, right? The person would be issued a Class P. Okay. And in the case if they want it for a motorbike also, you can, a Class M as well.
So what's the class for stick shift?
P, right? And the P would encompass auto, because there would be P auto. If you have P auto, you're not licensed to drive a standard manual or stick shift.
But
the temporary driver's license, because there would be some that, let's say, would have a driver's license overseas for trucks, heavy equipment. If you come for a temporary driver's license, right, you are not allowed to drive those heavy equipment, big trucks. You only Class P. Okay, pick up some.
But P by itself encompasses both standard and automatic.
Right.
But that's my argument, though.
Right. But if you know to yourself that you cannot drive a stick shift, and you jump in a vehicle, and you get in an accident or whatever, well, and it is found out during the investigation that you cannot drive a stick shift. Okay? Depending, wondering if that could go down, you could be charged maybe for joking, reckless. But you understand?
Well, definitely. If you have been given, a piece of document that stipulates that you should only move from here to here, what you want to be ultra vires, and move beyond the point. You understand me? It was given to move from here to this destination. So if you have been given a P class, what you want to go and drive an E class, you understand? What you want to drive, a C class that is over 10 tons. You understand me? E class is heavy equipment. No, you're being given a P auto. It specifies P auto, meaning that you're only authorized by that piece of document to drive an automatic vehicle. You understand me? Within a certain tonnage.
Right.
You understand me? So what you want to go and drive a standard, it specifies.
So the temporary license does specify auto.
So
the last time I checked, because I think the other day I checked at it, and it says P.
He ain't saying P auto.
No.
He ain't saying P auto. But basically, it's just a P, for you to be driving around,
in a regular car.
And Nevis, you understand me? And I want to read something from the policy here. Again, policy and
go ahead.
yeah. The Vehicle and Road Traffic Act provides for the issuing of temporary driver's license to bona fide visitors and the production of valid driver's license from their country of origin to facilitate the transition to a permanent driver's license to those who have made the Federation their country of residence. The Traffic Department has adopted the following policy. 1. The applicant must have had at least 3 one-year temporary driver's license or the equivalent of in 3 months licenses, that will be 12. 2. Must present driver's license in their country of origin, whether valid or not. Must have work permit or resident status stamped in their passport. If not, the holder of a St. Kitts Nevis passport. CARICOM citizens who are working for regional institutions in the Federation need not have a resident stamp in their passport, provided that they show evidence of their employment. OECS nationals, St. Vincent and so forth, Dominica, are not required to obtain a St. Kitts Nevis driver's license to drive in the Federation. A valid license from their country of origin is valid for use in the Federation. Only appointed exam, I wouldn't touch that. But I'm just saying, up to now, he hasn't talked about no M class, no E class, no F class, no C class. You understand me? If something is specified, if they come and, you know what I mean, say some people come to work, you understand me? We could understand that. Maybe some specialists come in, you know what I mean, to do work here. But definitely, you know, they'll be given the appropriate licenses, you know, to operate on the road. You know. But anyway, that's the time. Gone upon us.
But thanks for the wealth of information.
Yes.
Constable, an inspector. You actually did come back with the things that we discussed last week with information for your listeners, because we had questions and things, and of course sometimes you have to check documents and make sure we say the right things.
Definitely, you have to stick
to
the legislation. Sometimes, in life, as you go along in life, it will evolve. So definitely there should be changes, amendments, repeal and so forth.
When
it comes to the law as time progresses. So definitely we won't stick to the hard and fast, but we have to stick to what is there presently until recommendation. People like you, make recommendations, to people like me, and people like me will make further on. We chain a common so that we could get certain things changed, certain things amended, certain things repealed, and that is how, the world evolves.
Of course.
All right, but thanks a lot for being here.
Man, thank you all for coming.
This Mr. Bissett. Bissett is here with us. You'll see Bissett on more regular basis. Now and then he'll chip in and chip out.
Wonderful.
Definitely. Right. So he could actually convey to the general public, his wealth of information. He's in traffic. How long you work traffic now, Bissett?
2 years, I'm going on to 3.
Yeah. Okay. So he in traffic, he way more than me, way more years than me. I just been transferred to the traffic just last year, October.
Okay, then.
Bissett still, yeah. All right, but thanks.
Thank
on behalf
you,
of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, I just want to convey gratitude for being here. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your service, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you. God bless.
All right, we're going to pause for a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to jump into a quick chat with our second guest. So we'll be right back on ILNT.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your 461 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
This is an unprecedented announcement from Horseman's. Get up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. It's Horseman's Automotive Unprecedented Sales Event happening now. Yes, for the first time ever, you get up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Yes, pay zero VAT and get up to $30,000 off on top of that. This has never been seen before. Unprecedented savings at the Unprecedented Auto Sales Event at Horseman's Automotive. Up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Let me repeat, up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Don't miss it. It's unprecedented. Terms and conditions apply.
You know it's me, Mr. H.E. Time to unwind. Ooh yeah, revelry. You feel like giving up, you don't feel like getting up. What's the meaning of life? You don't feel energized, you don't feel like picking up. Motivation, pack up and leave. You got more problems than you need. Close your eyes for a minute and breathe. One day at a time, man. Remember, a pressure was time, man. So anytime you end up in a struggle and you end up in a trouble, just trust the most high one. Jah is alive, man. The devil is a lie, man. Nobody said it would be easy. Trust and believe me. Get up and try, man. Like if you what you can do. So when your life's in despair, so when the pressure keep coming, remember Jah is there. Your limit take the sky. Spread your wings, them and fly. They can stop you from soaring. They can stop you from running. Raise your hands and let go. Jump around and let go. Spread your wings and let go. Unwind in revelry. Spread your wings and let go. Raise your hands and let go. Jump around and let go. Unwind in revelry. No more procrastinating. No more sitting and waiting. Right now your mind is a battlefield. Now you know that the battery, but you got to search yourself and find the warrior inside of you. Conquer all your fears and all your doubts and obstacles. When you're not got nobody to rely upon, trust the most high plan. You got to give it your all. Rise when you fall, tell yourself I can. And you are alive, man. Look to the horizon. Tell yourself you will not fail. You will prevail. You are a titan. Like if you what you can do. So when your life's
All right, welcome back to Island T, and we're now going to move into our second segment, which we have dubbed
No, you make me sing your song. Eat local.
Ridiculous. And we're joined here by His Excellency, the Honorable Damien Hobson, who is the chair of the St. Kitts Music Festival Committee. Ouch. And also, what are the CEO, the managing director of Hobson Enterprises? The MD. There's a different kind of MD, Kevin.
Okay.
Not the medical doctor, but
Jade.
the managing director.
Okay. Jade.
Of Hobson Enterprises. He's a young man, kind of, speaking, been very successful in his lifetime, especially in recent years. Served this country well as chair of the committee, and we're here to just pick his brain on how he got into business, about what he does, and about the future of the music festival. And we could also talk about how the state was when you met it, and what things you implemented and changed to improve on the festival, because the last 2-3 years have been out of this world, and that is thanks in part to you and your team. So we can jump into all those things. So let's start first with who is Damien Hobson, for people who are listening who don't know you on a personal level. Who is Damien? Wait, what did you say?
Yeah,
man is in here.
For the whole, since we start, he just grinning non-stop, eh?
Yeah, because I was waiting to hear what you were coming with for us.
I'm making you blush?
Yeah, you're making me blush. So good morning to everybody listening on Win FM. My name is Damien Hobson, Managing Director of Hobson Enterprises, and as Amali said, I think I'm still chairman of the St. Kitts Music Festival. I don't know if the minister still wants me to be chairman. No, he hasn't run me yet. So I'm here to talk about anything you want to talk about today.
Okay, tell us about your beginnings. When you first got into business, I'm assuming that shipping and so wasn't your first whack at something career-wise, or was it? I don't know. We're here to find out. as well as growing up, and so the things that you experience when you're growing up, what you were into when you were younger, and you ended up in this now,
Right.
and then to kind of explain what Hobson Enterprises does in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Correct. So just to give you a brief history, and I think I've documented it in a couple of speeches I've given before. My dad died February 22nd, 1992. I was getting ready to go to college the same summer, and at the time my mom was working in government. My sister was already in law school in Barbados, and so I decided to leap of faith, jump in and try a thing, as the local people say. At the time we had one employee, I remember Tony, and we have gone from 1992 to 2020. We have expanded into brokerage, trucking, shipping, warehousing, gas station, MoneyGram. We have over 50 employees in total, and we continue to look at new avenues to expand. There's always new avenues and opportunities, so we continue to look for new opportunities to expand.
Okay, brilliant. So leading up to 1990, when 3 years it was?
92.
92, when it was. What were your intentions in terms of career? And so these things change over the course of time.
I was into computers. That was always my thing, to do computer science.
Okay.
But life has a way of putting you where you're supposed to be, so I think that's what it is.
So why shipping? What happened in 1992 to that side? Let me jump into
that's
this.
what my dad was doing. He had a brokerage service. It was AC Hobson Enterprises. So he was already doing brokerage work already. So we just continued along that vein.
Okay, and expanded and grew.
Correct.
Very good. It's funny, man. You know Jack Widdowson?
Yes.
Me and Jack were talking about this a couple of nights ago. How it's very rare in St. Kitts that you find the moms and pop businesses being passed on to the kids and the kids actually carrying it on.
Right.
That don't happen often.
Correct.
Compared to other cultures like the Chinese and the Indians and so, where you have families owning restaurants and other businesses for like 4 and 5 generations.
Right.
And I don't think it happens on that scale. I can't speak for the rest of the Caribbean, but in St. Kitts specifically.
Right.
So it's good to see an example of it.
You know what? If I'd gone college, I probably wouldn't have been in this business now. I just think it was just faith that February 1992.
Special date for you?
Yeah, special date for me.
Okay, brilliant. So let's jump into the exciting stuff.
Yes.
The music festival.
We itching to come at you with that one.
If anything I say can't be held against me, because as I said, my new minister doesn't want me there, so.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't fair yet, so technically you still
let's consider you pending. You're pending.
I like the pending thing.
So
yes.
we pending.
Up in the air.
It's up in the air.
But what was it like? How hard was it taking over as the chairman?
Well, the music festival is about the team, and I think from the get-go, I decided to find the team and to work with the team to make sure that we're able to execute. We would have documented a lot of the issues, both good and bad, over the last couple of years. And so when we sat down as a team, we were able to dissect what went wrong, what went right, and basically put the team together and put the team to work. It's never about me. I always feel that I have the best music festival team. I mean, I can shut my eye, we make decisions and we can shut my eye and know that this is going to be executed by the team. And I think that's what it's all about. I mean, we involved people like Franz. Franz came in to do production, first time in 2018. That went well. He did it again in 2019. And so it's just about the team.
Good stuff. So what is Amali? What's this face?
Whose face? Amali's face or mine?
I'm just listening.
Okay. So we have our lovely COVID-19 happening right now.
Right.
What would St. Kitts Music Festival look like next year if it's still a threat?
So let's go back to 2020. I mean, I personally believe we had the best lineup. We had the best organization for the music festival the end of this month. Unfortunately, we had to make the decision to cancel it. I'm still hoping that we may be able to do something later this year. That's my hope. Obviously, the powers that be will have to make a decision on that. May not be a full 3-day festival, but do something, because obviously we would have paid deposits on all the artists already. and I don't even know if some of them are going to be relevant in 2020. They're still
point.
relevant. Well, 2021, they're still relevant in 2020. So there may be an opportunity to do something later this year. So we're certainly looking at that as an option. But it was, I think, the best lineup we've ever put together.
I
So
agree.
it was very sad when we had to cancel it for 2020. But we're going to start planning early. Arguably, we have artists already booked. But again, we don't know what they're going to be like for 2021. So hopefully by October, when we start to meet again and put our artist selection committee in place, and I know our previous chairman is now the new Honorable Jonel Powell. So we probably have to change that position. But once we put our team together, September, October, we'll start to again be proactive and try and generate enthusiasm again for the 2021 Music Festival. We're going to miss a date because next year should have been our 25th, but obviously we're missing our 24th. So I'm not even sure how the
So y'all gonna call it the 25th, or
that's what I need to figure out.
The 24th and a half.
We probably got
the 25th-ish.
Yes, we probably got to figure out what we're gonna do and what we're gonna call it next year because we are missing a year.
Wow.
You know what? I think y'all should do a double weekend. The 24th and the 25th. Two separate weekends.
What wrong with you?
Why not?
But hey, let's go into
in a dream world, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. A 2-weekend festival. Let's go into the process, if you're willing to share, of selecting who performs on the festival. Like what kind of process is that? What kind of conversation? Where do the names come from? Where do the ideas come from? And how does the committee decide, like if you get 20 names, which of the 20 are going to come?
But that's really for artist selection. Jonel has a committee that he puts together. They bring the recommendations, and then as a management team, we look at the pros and cons of each artist, how relevant they are now, how many Instagram and Facebook fans they have. I mean, they're the different criteria that we use to make sure we get the best of the best. And again, it has to fit into what we're trying to accomplish, because years ago we used to have theme nights. In 2018, we got rid of the theme nights, and so we mixed all the genres for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think that has worked very well for us. Yeah. So it's to find the best of the best to fit in on each of the nights without going past 1 o'clock, which is our mandate to try and fit between 1 and 1:30, and still start on time at 8. So it's 8 to 1:30. That's our window with all the changeovers and the intermissions and everything else. So it's to try and fit in the artist to fit in that.
Okay, so in terms of, you mentioned getting rid of the theme nights.
Right.
What other policies or customs did you meet that were in place that you decided, or the committee, the team, decided together that this is outdated, this isn't working anymore, let's shift gears and try something else? Like, can you give a few more examples of things that you felt the need to improve on or to change in the way that it was facilitated?
Right. One of the major things we looked at was the layout of the park, because in 2018 we went back to Warner Park, and if you remember 2017 they had the 3 tents on the ground, people in the stands couldn't see.
Yeah.
So one of the things we decided earlier, Clark, that we have to come up with a better layout to the park. So we actually moved Carambola up on the mount so that we only had 2 tents on the ground. Again, it's all about fan experience, and our thing was, how do we improve on the fan experience? So we did a couple of things in 2018. We went to the Kim Collins Stadium, and a lot of people had doubts about the Kim Collins Stadium, but I actually believe that has been the best venue we've had so far for the music festival. We were able to lay out better the experience about entering the venue. We had the Carib palette entrance theme, 3 different entrances so people could move freely for VIP, VVIP as compared to general admission. We still had some challenges at Kim Collins Stadium, but I think overall it was the best location. So we looked at layout, that was paramount. We looked at changing the genres for each night so that everybody had a night they wanted to come to because there was an artist on the night. Because people only come for Saturday night because reggae is on Saturday night before. Now you had reggae on any of the nights, so you had to come out and participate in our 3 nights. Vendors, making sure we had the right vendors, the right number of vendors in the venue, where there's bars and food and so forth. And most importantly, being able to pay our service providers on time. I made that a point that within 30 days of the festival, we must be in a position to pay our vendors. And I think we have done it. We have done it in 2018. I mean, I think 2019 we were even quicker in payments in 2019, but certainly by the 30 days after end of July, all of our service providers were paid.
Brilliant.
I love it.
Brilliant. Brilliant. It's actually really, really good. Let's talk about the timing, because traditionally, well, I've been to several music festivals over the years, and we found that the festival was going really, really late. I mean, I think it's the year when Jackie O came.
Right. I left. I didn't even hear Jackie.
Jackie took the stage and the sun was already up.
Right.
And I just listened to the first two songs and went home, because people have to work in the morning and we have families and thing. So in terms of getting to actually compress the event between the 8 p.m. to 1:30 window, how did y'all do that?
Well, if you go back to the mandate that was set in 1995, it was to put heads in beds. So we went back to the original mandate, and heads in beds means that we have to create economic activity for the country. And you can only create economic activity if you finish at a reasonable time.
Right.
If you go down to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, nobody's going to go to the strip, nobody can take taxi tours around the island, nobody's going to go to Brimstone Hill, nobody's going to go to the museum, nobody's going to go shopping in town. So from day one, the minister said, guys, we need to restructure this thing. 1:30 should be the deadline. Allow people to go out and experience things. It's about an experience. You want to go on Instagram and Facebook and talk about what they did at night. They take a catamaran cruise the next morning. And you saw it in 2018. You saw the posts and the feedback that we got from 2018 Music Festival. People were able to enjoy St. Kitts. And they came back because they enjoyed St. Kitts. Not just for the music festival, but they enjoyed St. Kitts as a whole. And so we've stuck to that. I remember 2018 when Sugar Bowl started the Thursday night, and people couldn't believe we started with Destro.
I remember that, yeah.
And we said no.
And they were shocked that it started on time, though.
Correct. Sugar
People
Bowl.
were posting and like, what? I don't hear music already, it's 8 o'clock, okay now, yo. Actually, that year, things started 5 minutes early. Johnny came on stage and said, what, now 5, where did you just start?
Correct.
I said, but it ain't 8 o'clock yet. The man said, me in case start the show.
Yeah, we started on time. The national anthem was played at 7:58, and the show started on time. Destro was on stage by 8:05. And I think people got an appreciation that we were going to be on time.
It was a different show.
And 2019 at Kim Collins Stadium, again, people knew we were going to be on time. So people came out, people were early.
Yes.
Once you set a standard for people to follow, people will follow.
Yes.
And that's what happened.
It's good to see that happening, because Kittitians have a bad habit of expecting everything to be late, because late is the culture.
Right.
So seeing that you kind of restructuring what being on time means is good, because I feel like it pushes other events to start on time too.
And I mean, when you go to a concert in the States, they say they're starting on time, they're starting on time. It's only down here we want to say, well, we come in 12 o'clock and we want to stay till 5. And
then usually miss things.
Correct. No, we're starting at 8, come for 8. You're going to have a great show from 8 o'clock. And we're going to mix it up, so don't think it's going to be local starting. We start with international artists. So you got to be there to hear Destro at 8 o'clock.
Right. So, if you are kept on as chair to lead the team into the next music festival or whatever it is, you said something might happen later this year, we don't know yet. But let's assume that nothing will happen, just for the sake of this conversation. And next year, June is going to be our next music festival. As chair, if you're kept on, what is your vision for next year in terms of improvements, in terms of changes, in terms of adding new features, in terms of subtracting features that didn't work? What's your vision or your plan in your head, if you already have one? Because I know you do, for music festival next year. This man being always going 100 miles per hour. Tell us, what can you expect when you walk into the festival next year, June? On our 24th-ish anniversary.
24th to 25th. You were going to be wowed for 2020. Obviously, that didn't come off. So we're going to take the plans that we have for 2020 and multiply them by 5 to make sure that the 5 that the experience factor is gonna wow you. The artist selection is going to improve. Now, a lot has happened with COVID in terms of artists and the songs that they're writing now. Obviously, everything is gone dormant, really. But hopefully, by the end of the year, you'll start to see things pick back up in the arena. But I think, if all goes well, if we continue what we were doing for 2020, you have a lot to look forward to in 2021. I hope I get back to Kim Collins Stadium again. I think that is just the best venue, unless we build our own venue. That is still the best venue. And we would have made a number of inroads with service providers. We're talking to Church in St. Martin. We'd have a number of... I mean, if you saw what we were going to put together for the state for 2020 alone, I mean, wicked designs. I mean, nothing you've ever seen around here, what we were going to do in terms of the stage design and the layout of the venue. So we're going to bring that on board for 2021. And we have to get the right artists. We need to get the right mix of artists to bring people. I think people are hungry to go out. I mean, everybody's been stuck in the house for months now. So I think 2021, everybody's going to be looking for festivals that they know have performed in the past. And if we do our marketing and advertising correctly, I think we're going to be even bigger and better. We did 27,000 people in 2019. My goal is for at least 30,000 in 2021. So we gotta bring the right team together.
Brilliant. Well, Mr. Hobson, it was good having you here. We've run out of time. When I started playing music in headphones, you mean hush I am out.
Oh, that's what it means?
Awesome, they didn't knock on the glass.
Jade is punk on the glass.
Jade knocked on it.
And then she hand flapping.
So I didn't get the knock on glass this morning.
No,
you got the music
you
in
get the
ear.
gentle version.
Oh, okay.
Because she's showing herself when you're in here.
Something depends on who the guest is too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that means she has respect for you. That's good.
Okay, wonderful.
If she didn't have respect for you, you'd see her punging and flapping.
All right, so Mr. Hobson, thank you very much for joining us on Island Tea on this segment that we have dubbed
Eat Local.
So just for clarification, every day on Eat Local we feature some local person who is involved in whatever industry they're involved in, music, shipping. We have politicians in here, and so every day we try to have somebody else just to come in and just tell us what they do, and to also market their business.
Okay.
So for all your shipping needs.
Shipping Hops Enterprises.
Hops Enterprises located where?
Number 1 Bird Rock Road.
Number one Bird Rock Road.
Telephone number
465-8753.
There we go.
And do you do consolidation?
Of course we do.
And do you do like the containers and everything?
And you don't have to go to the port to clear anything. Everything is by our warehouse.
By the warehouse.
Yes.
So then you have to go up the port and stand up in line?
No more.
So you call us and say, listen, your box is here, come pick it up.
That is correct. In air condition.
In air condition?
Yes.
That is brilliant.
Look at that.
So folks, you heard it from the man himself,
Quality
Mr. Damien
service.
Hobson, of Hobson Enterprises and of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And we'd love to have you back sometime in the future to discuss more developments with the festival.
Early 2021.
Yes, we'll have you back for sure.
Definitely.
All right,
Mr.
folks.
Hobson,
Yes.
I can't let you leave without telling you that your favorite daughter said to tell you hello. That's the one that works at MoneyGram.
Okay.
Jay, don't do that again, please. I don't thank the man, I don't say no that thing. And you come,
Jay,
by the way, Miss Hobson. Focus, we'll have to dealing with it here.
She's the producer. She can do what she
So
wants.
she like to produce, not talk.
Exactly. As in, you keep getting your microphone here. Stop it.
The mic, mind you, let's put some context. Let's put some context for people. The microphone is in front of Azim. She does shove him down to talk.
And I thought this is something important. She come to get a shout out.
He in here.
Get
That's
out.
the boss.
Wow. Anyway, Mr. Hobson, thank you once
No
again.
problem. Thank you for having
Look,
me.
have Jay mate there, please, for coming, and then we'll see you again soon. We're going to pause for a short break and come back to more conversation. Because we ain't finished talking more, we were talking more for tea time. So, the inspector from traffic came, and then now Mr. Hobson has come. So, of course, we treat our guests well. We couldn't make you sit down and wait.
Make you sit down and wait.
So, we'll take a short break and then get back to conversations on tea time.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Fruta, taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing
has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Oh boy. Hey puppy. Had all of your chances. Yes, I've talked to you, present the truth. Now here's the scoop. Be careful what you do. Judgment will fall on you. Watch what you do, judgment will fall on you. Yes, I've been patient for a while, but now it's time to tell you the good deeds that you do. Rasta say, with them you can never shine. Never shine. Well, I hope this makes you feel better. When you were thirsty, I gave you the water. Don't play with puppy, he turn around and bite ya. Forget second chance, no acquaintance. From you I'll keep distance. You can bark till you feel sick. You can't stop when I start feeling. You go back till you're tired. A shot shade we are gonna give you. Ungrateful people we dismiss. Nobody come say you're sorry. We get second chance. Not another chance. You did all of the talking. And you had all of your chances. Because they love to talk about man when them gone. Them boy they can't watch me in me face, you know them shame. But we never do them wrong. No, we never do them wrong. All we do is try to live up for life. Always play we build, we on time, we give advice. Wanna deal with mediocre vibes. No mediocre vibes. Well, I hope this makes you feel better. When you were thirsty, I gave you the water. Don't play with puppy, he turn around and bite ya. Not another chance, no acquaintance. From you I'll keep distance. You can bark till you feel sick. Can't stop when you're not starting. So go and bark till you're tired. A shot till we are gonna give you. Ungrateful people we dismiss. Nobody come say you're sorry. Not another chance. Oh boy. You can't stop when you're not starting. Not another chance. I know you're shocked. It had to come to this. Bad mind and clean heart, you know, could never mix. Satisfy your conceit, pan a eager trip. Or if you stop when you're not started. Not another chance. Not even in your wildest plan. You had your last dance. Now, yeah, you had your last chance.
And we're back to the umpteenth episode of Island Tea, brought to you by Jade and Win FM 98.9. That is the only compliment I've given Jade, our pops,
Right.
since the show start. And no more coming.
Indeed.
Don't get used to it. What you just said, don't get too comfortable to this lifestyle. So we had this morning, we had Inspector. What's this Inspector's name? Jay, what what's the name again? I know the
Bissett.
constable was Constable Bissett,
Constable
308.
Bissett, 308 Bissett.
Badge number 308.
But
and Inspector Eddie, who has recently been transferred to traffic, so he's now the inspector responsible for traffic. And we had them in the studio talking about tinting and being on your phone while driving, abandoned vehicles, fixing vehicles on the roadside, to get some clarification and to educate us, on these things.
I felt he was victim blaming though, to be quite honest.
When he said take things about your car, so somebody leave that.
Your vehicle.
It's your fault if you leave your things in
The
your
man
car.
said, why you leave things in the car? That makes no sense.
Things in your car.
Take them out and you ain't gonna need nothing.
But the thing is, right, the last time my equipment was stolen on my vehicle, I was parked in front of the treasury during an independence event.
Yeah, sometimes, but he also went on to say that if you have special, like for you for example, like if your vehicle ain't tinted and you're in a dangerous area working and so you still need to put it, you can't take all your things and put it in your pocket, right? You still need to that level of privacy in your vehicle. So like you said, right to the PM and
I'm glad that there's provisions to be able to.
There aren't any provisions. It's just a theory. Officer done tell me direct. He said you need to wait to the PM, but you ain't gonna answer though. So don't waste your time. But somebody told me yesterday that he knows somebody who actually applied to get darker tint on his vehicle by the PM, by the Minister of National Security, and he was granted. So I guess it's who you know. And then after that, we had His Excellency Mr. Damien Hobson here from Hobson Enterprises, and he's also the chair of the St. Kitts Music Festival Committee, the executive committee, and he came in to chat with us about the music festival and his business, etc., etc. Very, very, very informative episode today.
Very.
Learned so much, and music festival has some big things in store for
Got
us.
some insight into next year too.
Or this year.
Well.
Or this year.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. What you call it? A silver lining? Light at the end of the tunnel?
The light at the end of the tunnel.
I love it. Thank you, Mr. Hobson, for joining us. Fun is supposed to be here too,
Who? Oh.
Yeah.
He ain't wake up.
Yeah. Fancy is sleeping.
Of course.
That's what we need, Rich. So, we're going to jump back into tea time. We're going to go back to tea. We're going to revert to tea time and discuss some topics that we had to skip over due to our guests arriving early, which I'm very happy for. So I think we touched on the appointments of the minute.
Yeah, we'll start off with that.
Members, I think we're gonna finish with that too, because we're only got 50 more minutes. So do we have them in front of us here, or do I have to pull them up?
I have them, but if you want to pull them up as well, you may.
So, in terms of the swearing in yesterday evening, folks, we have the portfolios of the cabinet ministers. Right? And they are as follows. Bear with me. Okay, the Team Unity Administration and Cabinet Appointments. Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris has been given the Office of Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, National Security, Sustainable Development, Constituency Empowerment, and Human Resource Management and Information. And I think that is almost the exact portfolio he had last term as well. No changes there. The Honorable Sean K. Richards has been again appointed as Deputy Prime Minister for the party, and he has been given all the responsibilities that Patches had from last term, which is Minister of Public Infrastructure, Utilities, Posts, and Urban Development. So he has taken over Patches' portfolio. The Honorable Mark Brandley, same portfolio again, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Civil Aviation. Honorable Alexis Jeffers, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources. So that's something different there. I think that's the first time a Navy's person is running agriculture and fisheries. I think it's been us traditionally. That's good that we're sharing it up nicely, sharing up the pie. Very, very lovely. The Honorable Lindsay Grant, once again the Minister of Tourism, Transport and Posts,
been given his
same portfolio,
which
also means he's responsible for Music Festival once again, folks. Okay. The Honorable Eugene Hamilton has been given a whole new portfolio, namely the Minister of Human Settlement, which is housing, National Health Insurance. I don't understand that data as him and Jade and Kevin.
Which one?
There's a Minister of Health and there's a Minister of Health Insurance. I would assume the health insurance will fall under health.
I mean, that's a good point.
But anyway, let's move on.
What's the difference?
We'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
So he's the Minister of National Health Insurance, Social Security, Ecclesiastical Affairs, Social Development, and Gender Affairs. Okay? Quite a hefty portfolio. Actually, for the second term, I know Eugene got the most things to do.
Yeah, he got a massive
portfolio. Last term, he had the biggest portfolio too.
Mr. Impact.
Mr. Impact over impression. We don't the talking. Action. Not a bag of mouth. We have the Honorable Eric Evelyn, who's the Minister of Environment and Cooperatives. We have the Honorable General Powell, who has taken on the responsibility of Sean's Farmer Ministries, which are
Education.
The Minister of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture. So now General is in charge of our carnival. Hip hip hip, hooray. The Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, which is the exciting one. The Minister of Health, ICT, which I think is something, information technology. Information, computers and technology or something like that.
I can't help it.
I don't know where they spell everything except that one there. Everything else spell out there. Who sent this, Jade?
Yes. Jade Johnson.
Jade says here your name, sent by Jade, forwarded. She's the Minister of Health, ICT, Entertainment, Entrepreneurship and Talent Development. So Akila will be liaising with our young people and the old ones who have talent as well, who want to expand them and grow on them, to actually elevate those particular industries in the country. So once again, hip 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 hooray. And then we have the Honorable Wendy Phipps. She was the Junior Minister for Health, who was responsible for getting us through this COVID pandemic, along with the CMO, Dr. Hazel Laws. So Wendy has been removed from health, and she is now the Minister of International Trade, Industry, Commerce, Consumer Affairs, and Labour, which I've come to understand that is more up her alley in terms of her career, her past career. So I'm assuming she's happy about that. I don't know. And that is our cabinet. Oh no, I left out Juicy.
Yeah.
And then we have the Honorable Vincent Byron Jr. I suppose, as an example, Vincent Juice. But you know, in St. Kitts, right? St. Kitts is the only country in the world that puts politicians' nicknames on official documents.
Yeah. Look, the politicians want the nicknames here.
I don't understand that. You don't have nowhere else on the planet, you know? Nowhere else. Ian Patches.
Patches.
How could take somebody seriously who got on document?
So then imagine, like, you're foreigner. I'm here to see Mr. Patches.
Mr. Patches.
Mr. Patches.
That's an interesting name.
I mean, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? Oh, that's my nickname.
And then our Attorney General is Vince. Oh, I hope they got his on the business cards, yo. Our Attorney General is Vincent Juicy Byron.
Wouldn't you like to be called Juicy?
Yes. And I think Juicy has the wickedest nickname of them all. It's
really
brilliant.
think you're speaking from a place of jealousy.
No. Yes, I am. With Juicy own, yes, a grudge.
That's a.
May want somebody call me Patches. But I'm sure the story behind Patches' name is hilarious and dating back from primary school when he used to go Pastor school. That was him before Winterton school. It was just Pastor school. And then to the boys' school.
And listen, I'm waiting for the day when FM tell us don't come back because I'm early.
Yo, so yeah, boy, St. Kitts is the only place I've ever witnessed in my life that incorporates ministers' nicknames, their aliases, in official capacity. Like they'll be in Parliament and they say the Honorable Vincent Juicy. I got me busting me go laugh in here, boy. So, Honorable Vincent Byron Jr. is the AG, the Attorney General, and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs once again. So some portfolios have remained the same. Juicy remained the same. Timothy has remained the same. Lindsay has remained the same. Brantley has remained the same. And then, of course, there were new additions with Akila and Jonelle. Jonelle got Sean's old portfolio, and Akila got a mixture of your portfolios, health and other cool stuff.
Let's congratulate those new parliamentarians as well.
Including the Labour ones, Dr. Douglas and Dr. Hanley. Dr. Hanley, Very, 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 very great man. I know him personally. Very humble, very warm. And he actually said he wants to come on the show sometime this week so we can have a post-mortem of the election. He actually asked to come on the show to speak to the people. So we can try and arrange that sometime this week. So congratulations to all the people who were successful. And we also want to, importantly, Mr. Bailey, thank those who are leaving for their service. The Honorable Marcella Liebert, Ian Patches Liebert. Who else leave? In Nevis. Patrice Nisbet.
Yeah.
The Honorable. And who else left in St. Kitts? The Honorable Congress Maynard as well. They served their country for some time, and we want to thank them for their service. It's not easy.
Speaking of Nevis as well, I think this is the first time in like over 35 years that we have 3 Nevis representatives on the federal government.
Well, it's the first time we have 3 on the federal government, and it's the first time we got 3. Full stop.
Wow.
Because historically they weren't given posts.
Right.
I think that just because if somebody's listening, mind you, I tell you talk to you. This show is about conversation between friends.
Yes, we are conversing.
Everything is accurate. So if you have information to correct us, call in respectfully and honorably and say, by the way, Mali Kevin, this wasn't the first time that a Nevis man got a federal portfolio. And we're so sure, share with us, educate us.
It's not the first time, but the first time I got portfolios. But I think this is the first time we have three of them in the federal government.
Yeah,
and at least in the cabinet.
Yes. So congrats to all who are incoming on your victory, and for all who left for your service. The elections are behind us ish. I think Patrick is still taking his case to court. I don't know. Up to 2 days ago, he was.
I think the Labour Party is also suggesting
challenging. Yeah. But let's put this behind us now. Silly season is over. But I realized with this last election though, that the young people are a lot less partisan in terms of the tribalism than their predecessors, than their ancestors, like their parents and their grandparents, and so. I think that we are now coming to a period in St. Kitts and Nevis where our generation and the ones after us, because we all know we're going for 40 soon.
Yeah.
But I think on an even a wider scope, I think that we're seeing a real shift in the political landscape in St. Kitts. I mean, we have, for the first time, we have a Prime Minister who is not from either Labour or PAM. You have persons who might have been traditionally PAM voting for LP candidate or Labour candidate, and it goes across the board. Labour candidates voting, Labour supporters traditional voting for PAM candidates.
Yeah.
I think this is really a time of shifting in the political landscape.
It's beautiful. And we cited number 3 as well. That seat has never been held by anybody but Labour until last week Friday. Akil actually made history in St. Kitts and Nevis with the work that she did on the ground.
So would you say that the PLP, the People's Labour Party, would go down as one of the things that really helped to shift that tribalism and the partisanship in St. Kitts?
I think it played a huge role. The whole community construct played a huge role. I mean, I give people the example of my parents. Growing up, my parents were never vocal about who they supported in an election. I don't think my parents even told each other who they voted for in an election. That's how private they were when it came to their vote, right? And while I was in Canada, and then the whole team unity construct was released, I saw my mother in a team unity shirt marching on Church Street with placards.
Wow, now going on.
I said, wait there, something is happening. And that's when I knew team unity was going to win, because my mother, after 66 years on earth, decided to now go protest in a political shirt. Anyhow, she failed. I said that means something really, really wrong. And the tides are shifting, right? And I think Timothy Harris and Sam Kondo showed, illustrated to the public that, listen, even though traditionally I'm for these people, I'm for this ideology, when I see something is wrong, I can stand up for it and go against it. And I think before that, there was a kind of stigma and a taboo attached to turning your back on your party. And I think that stemmed out of, the whole Labour movement, where, when Labour was born out of the labor trades and union movement.
The union
right?
mentality.
So it was about having each other's backs.
All for one, one for all.
Precisely. So historically speaking, in terms of especially the Labour Party, you know, you were shunned for turning your back. That means turning your back on the cause. It was more than politics. It was a cause. It was our economic status, right? And Harris and Sam left the Labour Party and said, "Listen, Doug, you're doing things that we don't like, and we're going to try something different. Be with us. Give us a chance, and let me show you we could do something different." And they did it, and the country bought it, shockingly. And they ran, you know, in the election, and Team Unity was victorious, and they've been victorious again by even bigger margin than the last time. And you're right, it definitely shows that people are now using their brains as opposed to
the hearts. Let's say hearts.
As opposed to using the hearts. Yeah.
But
that's a good. Yeah,
and it shows a lot. It shows a lot too, because even, you know, elections it was like over a week ago, and if you don't think about it, you'd forget elections was over a week ago, because you know, it's sort of like we now in this mindset where, okay, we done vote, that's the end of that. We're not prolonging it, and
that is horribly not the case, because like I told someone recently, the work is still there for us to do, because now that these people have made promises, we have to hold them accountable
for sure
for these promises. Don't just think that you vote on Friday and then the next time you're coming back, come deal with this is in 5 years. 2025, September, whenever election gonna be. These people have made promises to us, and it's our duty to make them keep them, and to make them feel like if they don't keep them, their livelihood will be threatened. And when I say livelihood, I mean their jobs. I'm not threatening to injure people, folks. They need to feel like if I don't do what I'm supposed to do for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, then I won't be here next election.
I will not return.
I won't return, and it will be against my will.
Because now the young people are looking at what is being done, what they say is being done, what is done, and what's left to be done. If you don't fulfill your promise, then I'm not voting. Regardless of who you are, I'm not voting for you.
And the young people this election have shown the country that we're voting for what we want to vote for. We ain't voting for PAM, we ain't voting for Labour, we ain't voting for PLB, we ain't voting for CCM, we're voting for interests. And if these interests are not being met or taken care of, then we'll vote elsewhere. And I think that was proven. So I think our politicians, our new government has a lot of work to do. They made many promises, and they need to fulfill them and get to work urgently, because 5 years, as long as it seems, isn't long for a government at all. I mean, I can recall the last election like it was yesterday, and now we're here going into our second term under Team Unity.
Yeah, I think that's one of the arguments too for the 5 year terms. I mean, really, when we're talking about development and planning for a country and these kind of things, we understand that 5 years
it's nothing.
Yeah,
that's a weekend.
So that's one of the discussions that you have. The other discussion that I find very interesting is even the feasibility of democracy as a political, moving forward.
When you want to drop that there at 10 o'clock on that panel, we could talk about that there for 2 hours.
No, just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
Wow. And that's, you think could live by Vladimir Putin. Putin always in parliament trying to extend it term. Yo. I think there was supposed to be a referendum the other day before COVID, and they postponed it because of the COVID virus, where he wanted to be president forever.
Yeah.
And before that, a few years ago, he actually went to parliament and changed the term limit for president, because before it was 2 4-year terms, and he changed it. I think now he changed it to 4 6-year terms. So, and then what he did is, after his second term as president, he put his good friend Dmitry Medvedev to run as president.
And he was advisor or something?
He was prime minister.
Yeah, prime minister.
He tell him, if I make a president, I make me prime minister. You using my resources to win the election, make me prime minister. And so Putin was prime minister for 4 years.
And then came back.
And was still president really, because Dmitry couldn't do nothing. And then after 4 years, ran against Dmitry and beat. I said, I finished it now. Go back on the back seat. And then went in and then changed the term limits. So I think now, let's say Putin will be president for the next 25 years or something like that.
Right.
Based on the policies that he changed. And he went back again in February to say, you know what? Just leave me here forever and done.
Big blood.
Let me don't argue.
Don't argue, and if you argue, it means an issue.
If you argue me, you're going to see family again. But that brings us to the end of our show. It was a lovely show today, I must say. Very informative, very, very, very fruitful, very... What word do I want to use? Healthy. I feel fulfilled. My heart is full, Jade. my heart is full. Stop doing that.
See, he would have
as if saying things off here, and if I respond to it, no one will look stupid.
You would respond to it out loud, and people don't think we talking about things out of nowhere.
So, folks, thank you for tuning in to our umpteenth episode. What has it been, about 15?
Jade got 14.
14, but she's probably wrong.
Probably. It's Jade.
Episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amali. And we have on the 1s and 96s, Mr. Azim Bailey. And then we have in here being a harassment, the invalid Jade Johnson. And folks, please don't call in to defend Jade. Me and Jade are personal friends, and if I want to abuse her, I can abuse her. And she can abuse me as well. So don't get involved and don't get in between this here. Okay?
She can't.
You all want to see what tell me when we're off for here.
Yeah, she can't tell us. You don't. Let me tell. One of these days we're gonna record what Jade does.
As a matter of fact, the first thing Jade told me this morning when I walk in is I'm gonna bust your face. Just so you all know how I'm dealing with inside here.
You have no proof of that.
I don't have to have
videos
proof.
or audio, so
I don't have to have.
I'm
a real personality. People trust me.
That because they know that I'm not.
You know what's
that type
funny?
Of person.
This is a record. This is a studio, so
everything
is recorded.
That's fine, and I feel like when the audio is put out, they would see that you are lying on me. So that's fine.
But Jade, how you consider?
I said what I said, and I'm not taking it back.
Yeah.
I said what I said, and I am not taking it back. By the way, you in here cussing me, and you was in the People of Inauguration in a t-shirt yesterday. So, with that said, see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Island Tea.
I don't know if you
Kevin and
noticed,
Amali.
that on the invitation it didn't have a tile. As if it had a tile on the invitation.
No, as them said, don't mix me.
People's like being taken, making a sitting in a sun in a suit. I went and I was comfortable. Okay. Plus, I was coming from a previous engagement that wasn't a formal engagement. I was supposed to go home and change. I live in Monkey, man, I'm not be able to change my clothes. Okay? And for what I understand, they had the camera on me all the time. You know? The one man got short pants and sneakers in the whole. Everybody, people had on three-piece suits, butt ties and so.
Suits.
I felt out of place, but I was like, you know what? Whoever buy you. How is again? Folks, thank you very much for listening in. We'll see you and you'll hear us tomorrow morning again at 9. Jade, who we have tomorrow as guests? We have Dr. Cuthbert Sebastian II, who's going to be here with us. My good friend from a long time. We went to primary school together. I've known him since I was about 5 years old. He recently returned to St. Kitts after studying medicine in Jamaica. And he's now stationed at JNF, the Joseph and France Hospital. So he'll be joining us tomorrow for some conversations about health and wellness. So, see you tomorrow. I'm sorry for wasting so much of your time. We should finish a long time and just keep talking.
Amali, we have just been informed that the invitation for yesterday's inauguration actually had on business attire.
Business attire? I want to see that I am.
We'll tackle it tomorrow.
Huh?
We'll tackle that subject.
How you going to tell people we're business attire and I feel?
In the hot sun.
And I feel. Anyway, alright. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow.
The Sound 98.9.
Buster, pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster for the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Buster, you're full of vibes, living for the color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster for the colors in my life. Buster, pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If
you have one, hold it up and say, but step of the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like, but stand full of vibes. Living for the color, and I'm black and white. We do what we like, we live to enjoy life.